101.7 FM, the voice that echoes.
So you said 15 minutes.
So you are not following the, you are not saying, didn't CGN say,
Audio mark.
I'm tell you my God, you know my style, you know the jazz, get a salam, even. If you say you get the man, then you wanna try, you go die, baby. You've been a landslide for a long time, but then no one believe it. All up in a bumper, day one try, but yeah, do I'm in the easy. Who better not who do we like it? We're gonna call my cellular foot. Your back and your spine, how could you go break? Carry my weight, because I'm way too big.
Yes. And on that note, we are welcoming you to the program, beautiful people. And we want to say welcome once again to Hearts and Hustle, the space that. Yes. On that note, we're welcoming you to Arts and Hustle, beautiful people. And we want to say a beautiful afternoon to you listeners out there. And we all know that on the program, it is always a space where we talk about life, we talk about passion, we talk about dreams, we talk about relationship, and we also talk about the everyday grind that shapes who we become. Now, on this show, we always say something very simple. Everyone has a heart, and every single person has a hustle, a heart that carries our dreams, our emotions, those things we love, and things we actually care deeply about. And the hustle, that also is the effort, the discipline, the work we put in every single day to turn our dreams into reality. And today we're going on the program this beautiful afternoon. We're going to be talking about something very special. But before we do that, let's go on a short break. When we get back, we will dive into what we've got for you on the program Arts and Hustle today. Yes. Like I said earlier, the program you're onto is Heart and Hustle from iPower 102.7 FM. And today we're going to be talking about something that sounds simple, but is actually one of the hardest things to do in this world. Today's topic is the power of consistency. We're going to be talking about the power of consistency. Now, you see, a lot of people, they actually want success. A lot of people want growth. A lot of people want the big moment. They want the breakthrough. They want the applause. They want the recognition. They want the results. But what many people don't realize is that success really comes from one big effort. It comes from small efforts repeated over and over again. And repeating that effort is what consistency is. Consistency is not loud, is not glamorous, is not always exciting. Sometimes consistency looks like just waking up when you don't even feel like it. Sometimes consistency looks like it looks like showing up even when nobody is actually standing up to clap for you. Sometimes consistency means doing work, doing the work when your motivation is gone. And that is the part where people do not talk about enough. Because the truth is, motivation comes and goes, but consistency is actually a choice. You know, there are days where when you feel inspired, days when everything feels possible, days when your energy is high and you feel like, I can conquer the world. But there are days also when you are tired, days where everything feels heavy, days when things are not working the way you planned. There are days when you start wondering if the effort you are putting is even worth it. And that exactly is when consistency becomes powerful, because consistency says, even if I'm not seeing the result, I will still show up. Consistency says, even if today is difficult, I will still take one step forward. It says, even if nobody notices my effort, I will still keep going. And when you look at people who eventually succeed in life, many times it is not because they are the most talented. No, it's not because they were the luckiest. No, sometimes the difference is just simply they refused to stop showing up. They kept trying, they kept learning, they kept improving little by little. And most of the time, you know, a lot of people tend to quit early. They start something, maybe a business or a dream or a career or a creative passion, and when the results do not come as quick as they would expect it to come, they begin to doubt themselves. And I'm speaking from experience because it happened to me before. Now you start asking questions, you start saying, am I not good enough? Is this even working? Should I stop? But what they don't realize is that success, it often happens quietly in the background before it becomes visible. Now let's take for example now. Let's think about planting a seed. Now, when you plant a seed in the soil, you don't see the tree doesn't just grow immediately. No, it doesn't. For days, sometimes weeks, nothing appears on the surface. And if a person doesn't understand the process, they might think nothing is actually happening. But underneath the soil, something powerful is taking place. Roots are forming, growth is happening, the foundation is being built, and one day the seed will just finally break, and the soil becomes through the soil, something becomes visible for everyone to see. And that is exactly how consistency works in our lives. For a long time, it may look like nothing is changing. It may feel like your efforts are invisible, but every single time you show up, every single time you try again, every single time you refuse to give up, you're actually building something beneath the surface. You're building discipline, you're building strength, you're building resilience, and those things eventually create a breakthrough people call success. But consistency is not only about hustle or your career. Consistency, it also matters. It is also very important in matters of the art, in relationships, in the way you treat people, because most of the times we do not understand the fact that love is actually built on consistency, and trust too is built on consistency, respect is built on consistency. And it doesn't have to do with big promises people make once in a while and this and that and that. No, it's those small actions that you repeat every day. It's that being present, that is what being consistent is about. It has to do with keeping your words. It has to do with showing care again and again. And you're not showing care in the biggest of ways. You are showing care in the simplest of ways. And that is why today's conversation is not just about working harder. It is about understanding that the small things you do daily are shaping the lives of people you are building. So maybe this afternoon, someone listening that feels discouraged. Maybe you've been trying for a long time. You're wondering, is this effort even? Is my effort? Does my effort even matter? Is it even paying? Maybe you are tired. Maybe the results are slow. Maybe the recognition has not come out yet. If there is one thing I want you to remember this afternoon, is this: consistency as the quiet kind of power, a power that does not always show immediately, a power that builds slowly, a power that rewards patience. Because the people who eventually change their lives are often the ones who kept going after others stopped trying. And sometimes the real question is not whether your dream is possible. Sometimes the real question is simply this: are you willing to stay consistent long enough to see those dreams come true? That is the real question. And on that note, we'll go listen to Tiny Drops by Korede Bello, because of course we know that in the power of consistency, the tiny drops matters. The smallest thing you do it over and over and over again, and you think it's not sprouting anything. Gradually it becomes something visible, and it produces great results. That is Tiny Drops by Korede Bello.
Kitchen, well, why do bread no more, Baba? You show me love for no reason, well, why do bread, Baba? You give me joy every season, well, why do bread no more, Baba? Oh, why do bread, oh, real, oh, why do bread no more, Baba? For the little things, oh, why do bread no more, Baba? Oh, Baba, oh, why do bread no more, Baba? Oh, shit, oh, do, oh, why do bread no more, Baba? One day, anyhow, anyway, wasting I don't be saying, if the highway, you wait. One day, anyhow, anyway, wasting I don't be saying, if the highway, you wait. There's so tiny drops, make a mighty ocean. So me I put in work, keep it moving, keep pushing on. No condition is permanent, so you gotta keep working on yourself. I better let you know, if you are away, one day, anyhow, anyway, wasting I don't be saying, if you are away, one day, anyhow, anyway, wasting I don't be saying, if you are away. Oh, what do I know, oh, Papa? But the little things, oh, what do I know, oh, Papa? No, Papa, oh, what do I know, oh, Papa? Oh, shit, oh, do, oh, what do I know, oh, Papa?
So of course on the program we are eternally grateful, we'll continuously be grateful, because we know that we are by ourselves, we're not supposed to be on the program today, and God has kept us alive to this particular moment in time, and it's the perfect time to say thank you for letting me be, letting me, for giving me the strength to be consistent in what I've in my business and what I've been doing, and this and that. We are grateful for a lot of things on the program beautiful afternoon. And on that note, I want to welcome you back to Heart and Hustle. We all know that it's a space where we fuel your dreams and sharpen your focus and remind you why your heart and your hustle matters. Now, today we've been exploring the power of consistency, and how showing up day after day, even when it is tough, is what separates dreamers from achievers. So, wherever you are, keep your ears open, your hearts ready, and your hustle strong, because this journey of greatness, it doesn't pause. Neither should you, listeners out there. Now, before we left, we were talking about consistency and what power consistency carries. Now, most of the times, I want us to talk about persistency too, because most of the times we don't know that being consistent and being persistent are two important factors that should go side by side. Now, persistency is the decision to keep moving even when your progress feels slow. And let's be honest, this afternoon, let's be very honest with ourselves. Most of the times, consistency is not always easy. Sometimes it feels very lonely. Sometimes it feels like you're the only one putting the effort, while others seem to be moving faster than you. They seem to be moving ahead faster than you. They seem to be getting the good things faster than you. And most of the times you might see people get quick results, quick money, quick attention, and you start asking yourself, am I doing something wrong? Am I not doing enough? But the truth is, quick results are not always lasting results. I will say that again. Quick results are not always lasting results. Anything that grows too fast without a strong foundation can collapse just as quickly. Now, consistency, on the other hand, it builds something deeper. It builds your character, it builds your discipline, it builds your patience. And those are the things that no one can actually take from you. You see, discipline is one of the most powerful habits a person can develop, because discipline means doing what needs to be done even when you do not feel like doing it, even when it doesn't look like it, doing it still. And you're not doing it because it's exciting, you're not doing it because it's convenient, you're not doing it because you understand it. You're not doing it because you're not doing it because it's fun. You are doing it because you understand the bigger picture. Because you're doing it because you also understand that every small action you repeat today is actually shaping your tomorrow. And sometimes the most powerful progress is the progress that nobody sees, the progress that nobody notices. Now, it's the student that is studying late at night while everyone is asleep, the entrepreneur that is trying again after a failed attempt. It is that creative person that is practicing their craft over and over again. And it can also be that person that is walking quietly towards their goals while the world is distracted. Those small and quiet efforts, they may not look impressive at the moment, but over time, they create something powerful, because at the consistency, it compounds. It's just like saving money little by little, and eventually we know that it will grow into something very meaningful. Now, small efforts repeated every day eventually turn into big results. And this is something many people tend to forget. We often underestimate the impact of small progresses. We think progress is it only matters when it is actually big and dramatic. Everybody's like, I see this person has progressed. We think progress only matters when it is loud. But life really works that way. Now, real change, it happens in those tiny steps. you are learning a skill, you are improving your habit, you are making one better decision, you are trying one more thing. And before you come to the realization, before you know it, those small steps begin to add up. They begin to make sense. Weeks turn into months, months turn into years, and suddenly people look at you and say, ah, you're a lucky person. How did you get to this stage? They turn their back and they are surprised. And what they do not see is what they don't see are those days that you almost gave up, those days that you felt like nothing, those days that you just wanted to leave everything behind. Those days that you felt so frustrated, those days that things did not seem that like they were working. Now, consistency is what carried you through those moments. And to someone listening this afternoon, and you are currently at a stage where your efforts feel heavy, maybe you're putting in work and the results are not showing yet, maybe you're starting to question yourself and you are wondering if your dreams are even realistic, here is something important for you to remember. Sometimes the greatest breakthrough happens right after the moment people feel like quitting. I hope you got that. I said sometimes, to somebody planning to quit out there, let me put this to you. Sometimes the greatest breakthroughs happen right after the moment people feel like quitting. Right after the moment when someone says, I don't think I can do this anymore. That is often the moment where persistence actually makes the difference. Because the person who decides to try one more time might be the one who eventually changes their story. And consistency is not perfection. You do not have to be perfect to be consistent. Consistency is gradually building yourself. I think we need to clear the fact that, to be consistent, you have to be perfect. No, nobody, no single person on this planet Earth is perfect. We're all striving towards perfection. And nobody gets it right every time. Nobody's there, nobody's the organic top, nobody is this, nobody is perfect. There will be days when you miss your mark. There'll be days when you lose focus. There'll be days when your life gets when life gets in the way. There'll be days when you feel like nothing. When you feel, should I just leave everything and give it all up? That is when consistency comes in. But consistency doesn't mean never failing. It actually just means you keep coming back. You fail, you come back. You fail, you come back. You fail, you come back. You keep trying, you keep showing up again, even after mistakes, even after disappointment, even after setbacks. Because every new day is another opportunity to take one more step forward. And when your heart is truly connected to something, when your dreams really matters to you, consistency, it becomes more than just a habit. It becomes commitment. It becomes, and what you don't understand is the fact that your commitment actually, it leads, it grows. It leads to your growth. And it sometimes commitment can be purpose. Sometimes it becomes the person you are meant. It helps you become the person you are meant to be. And this afternoon on Hearts and Also, that is really what the conversation is about. It's about understanding the success. Understanding that success is not only about big moments. Understanding that sometimes it is about quiet determination, sometimes it's about patience, sometimes it's about believing in your journey even when the path ahead is not completely clear. Because the truth is, the truth most of the times we do not understand the fact that the truth is every powerful story you admire today, they started with someone who simply refused to stop trying, who simply refused to give up. And it also started with someone who woke up day after day after day and still decided to keep going at whatever they were going at. And maybe this afternoon is just a reminder to someone out there that your progress is still valid, your efforts matter, your journey is still unfolding, and every small step you take today is shaping the life you are building tomorrow. So the real question this afternoon becomes, what is the one thing in life right now that deserves your consistency? What dream, what goal, what relationship, what personal growth journey needs you to keep showing up for it, even when the excitement fades, and even when the road feels so long, even when the result actually takes time? Because sometimes in life, the life that you are hoping for is not waiting for a miracle. Sometimes it's just simply waiting for your consistency. Because most of the times when we talk about consistency, we are basically talking about commitment. You see, feelings can change, obviously, normal. It makes us human. Our feelings change on the norms. But there are some mornings that you wake up feeling energized. There's some mornings you wake up feeling confident. There's some mornings you wake up feeling ready to take the world. But there are other mornings you wake up very tired, you wake up discouraged, and sometimes you even question yourself like, oh, what am I even doing? And if our actions were controlled only by our feelings, many dreams would have never survived. This is why consistency asks for something deeper from us. It asks for us not to just act based on emotion, but you should act based on your purpose. It asks us that, this matters to me, so I will keep showing up. Even on days when the progress feels invisible, even on days when I don't feel like, even on days when the effort feels heavy, even on days when it seems like nobody else understands the journey you are on. Because the truth is, every meaningful journey has moments where it feels uncertain. And every person chasing something important eventually faces doubt. So the moment where you pause and ask yourself, can I do this? Am I really capable of doing this? And those are those moments where your consistency should show up for you. Those are those moments where your consistency is needed. Those days where you feel like you don't feel like doing anything. There are days like that where I wake up and I'm just like, God, another day. I'm like, God, I don't feel like doing anything today. You drag yourself from the bed, you do things, take a shower, you have to go to work, and you're like, God. The fact that you keep showing up means you are gradually, your consistency is at a certain level. So keep at it. Do not say, because I can't understand what I'm doing. What am I even doing? And you take 10 steps back and you stop. No, that is not what we preach on the program. We preach consistency, we preach commitment, we preach persistence, and a whole lot of things. But before we continue preaching what we're preaching, we'll go listen to Finesse by Fuse and featuring the Buju.
And I've been living fast life, but I see it in slow. Oh no, and you see my lifestyle, I got G's in the table. See many people there outside where they feel and trouble. Oh no, and me I stand the defender like Joseph Yobo. But girl say she want Netflix and chill, so I chatty get even warning. If you fall in love, feeling certain, you go to breakfast, I'm not capping. Can you see dripple, I'm not catching. I'm not faking this, no fugazi. You see these feelings, I'm not catching. I'm on quest and feet, I just want the happiness. If I broke, now my business. I'ma show you, you right. All I care for the night. Happiness. If I broke, now my business. I'ma show you, you right. All I care for the night. SSC be the reason why your baba want to jealous me. If you want to take them serious, I do top speed. No fit to resonate, I'm on a different frequency.
I don't think it's necessary. I'll be down with somebody that could do like me. When I be like Musala coming off the right wing, I got to your defender, you know you to tell me. I'm a horse, finesse. And you know, send me a must make. I go carry go.
Yes, welcome back to Heart and Hustle, where your heart meets your hustle and your dreams meet your dedication. If you are just joining us on the program this beautiful afternoon, we're diving deep into the power of consistency and how showing up every day, putting in work and trusting the process can turn your dreams into reality. So grab your headphones, tune in your radio set, settle in, and get ready for inspirations, reflections, and motivations that will fill your heart and sharpen your hustle. Now, let's get right back into it. Now, here's something powerful about consistency. I want to tell you something powerful about consistency. Now, every time you keep going despite your doubt, you actually prove something to yourself. You prove that your commitment is actually stronger than your fear. You prove that your dreams are worth your effort. And slowly, something begins to change inside you. Confidence, it doesn't always come before action. Sometimes confidence actually grows because of repeated action. Because when you are practicing something, when you keep showing up, when you keep putting in the work, when you keep at it, you begin to see improvement. Maybe not overnight, maybe not dramatically, but little by little, you start noticing the difference. You start to handle challenges better. You understand things more clearly. You grow stronger in ways you don't even realize is happening. And all of a sudden, what actually once felt very difficult, it begins to feel natural. That is the quiet reward of consistency. Growth that actually happens so gradual that one day you wake up and realize, I'm not the same person I used to be. You realize that you are a stronger person, you are wiser, you are more patient, and most importantly, you trust yourself more because you have proven to yourself that you can keep going. Now, let's bring the conversation back to the heart for a moment. Because consistency is not about work or ambition. It is also about how we show up for people. In friendship, in relationships, in family, sometimes the most powerful way to show love is through consistent presence. I'll take that again. The most powerful way to show love, whether in a relationship, whether in friendship, whether for family, is through consistent presence. Not those grand gestures once in a while, not those big things you do, but just steadily care. Just check in, just be reliable, just keep to your promises, showing people through your action that they actually matter to you. Because most of the time, just like dreams grow through consistency, trust is also very important, and it also grows through consistency too. That is why the title of the show, Hearts and Hustle, matters so much, because life is not just about chasing your goals. It is about becoming someone whose heart and hustle move side by side together. Someone whose hard work, but also who works hard, but also lives with intention. Someone who understands that growth takes time. Someone who is patient with the process of growing. And if you are listening to me right now and you feel like, my progress is slow, why am I so slow? I want you to hear this clearly this afternoon. Slow progress, is still progress. Moving forward at your own pace is still moving forward as long as you are moving. And sometimes people who move slowly but consistently are the ones who build the strongest foundations, because they take time to learn, they take time to grow, they take time to understand the journey, and when their moment finally arrives, They are mentally, emotionally, physically, they are ready for it. So this afternoon, wherever you're listening from, maybe in your room, maybe your home, maybe you're resting after a long day, take a moment and reflect on something in your life that truly matters to you, something that actually speaks to your heart, something connected to your purpose, something connected to the person you want to become, and ask yourself a very simple question: am I willing to stay consistent with this? And not just when it's exciting, not just when people are watching, but even when it is quiet, even in the quiet moments, when it feels like the journey is getting personal, when the efforts feel unseen, when the results are still on their way. Because sometimes the difference between a dream that actually fades away and a dream that becomes reality is simple. It's just the decision to keep showing up again and again and again and again, even when the journey actually feels repetitive. Now, because let's be real for once. Let's be real for a moment. Now, consistency can sometimes be boring. It can feel like you're doing the same thing every day, and you're putting in the same effort. You are doing the same routine. You're taking the same steps, and we understand that this world, where everyone we understand the intrigues of this world, where everyone is chasing excitement, everyone wants to chase quick success, everyone wants instant results, everyone wants it quick money, quick jobs, quick wealth, quick this, quick that. And staying consistent, it can sometimes feel like you're moving a little bit slower than everyone else. But here's the interesting thing about life: the people who eventually build something meaningful are often the ones who learned how to respect the process, not just the result. They learned how to show up for work even when it does not feel exciting. They learned how to stay focused even when distractions are everywhere. They learned how to keep building even when the recognition has not arrived yet. And sometimes the biggest battle is not outside of you. Sometimes it's the battle inside your own mind. The voice that says, maybe this is not working, Joe. Maybe you should stop doing this thing, Joe. That voice that compares your journey to someone else's own and makes you feel like you are behind. But consistency, it actually teaches you something powerful. It teaches you how to silence those voices with action. Those voices in your head that say you are not enough, that tell you, what are you even doing? This is the path you're supposed to be taking. Consistency is just simply silence those voices in your head. Because every time you take another step forward, you remind yourself that your journey is not a competition. Everyone's timeline is different. Everyone's path is different. Everyone's story unfolds differently. And the truth is, some people bloom early while others are late bloomers. But blooming late, it doesn't mean you are blooming less. Sometimes the people who take longer to grow, they develop deeper roots. They build patience, they build wisdom, they build resilience, and those qualities allow them to sustain success when it finally arrives. And this afternoon on Hearts and Also, I want someone listening to understand that consistency is not about racing through life. It is about building something that lasts. Think about the things in life and that actually truly matter. Strong relationships, your meaningful career, your personal growth, your inner peace. None of those things happen overnight. They are built slowly through repeated efforts, through patience, through moments where you decide to keep going even when stopping would have been a better option. And sometimes the most important consistency is the consistency where you show up for yourself. You are patient with your growth, where you are forgiving of yourself when you make mistakes, where you are giving yourself the grace to learn and improve. Because growth is not a straight line. There will be moments of progress and there will be moments where you feel like you are starting again. But every experience should teach you something. every experience should teach you something. Our time is fast spent on the program today. We'll take a short break and go listen to Peru by Fireboy DML, and when we get back, we'll call it a wrap on the program this afternoon.
Again, no be so. Yeah, you won't capture my soul. Again, no be so. Make you one more. Better, better. I'm losing.
Yes. Like we said, the program is Heart and Hustle on iPower 102.7 FM, and we'll be talking about the power of consistency. Before we wrap it up on the program this afternoon, I just want to say something about consistency. I want to tell you that consistency actually transforms effort into achievement, and challenges into lesson, and dreams into reality. So I want you to take your heart, pair it with your hustle, and show up tomorrow with purpose, because small and steady steps taken today lead to extraordinary stories tomorrow. This is Heart and Hustle, reminding you that greatness is not built in a day, but it is built by those who never stop trying and never stop believing, never stop moving forward. I am Inioluwa Adekoya. I just want to tell you to stay consistent, stay committed, and keep your heart and hustle aligned. Bye-bye.
I just flew